Brianna Whitney spoke with Daniel's dad about that today. Brianna?
Yeah, you know, one of the things Daniel Robinson's dad has done so well is making sure his son's case is in front of the media and the public and finding different ways to do that even when there aren't any updates. He says he doesn't want Daniel's case to go cold. So having the opportunity to speak on stage with Gabby Petito's family about the disparities in their cases was powerful and important.
Daniel Robinson, Gabby Petito, both of them gone, leaving their parents fighting for justice together.
Hey, look, nobody want to be a part of that club, but we are like family now, and we're sharing the same pains and burdens.
David Robinson has been fighting tirelessly to find his son, geologist Daniel Robinson, who disappeared from a work site in the Buckeye Desert in June of 2021. Detectives found his Jeep crashed nearly a month later, about 4 miles from where he was last seen, with his clothes and his belongings at the accident site, but he has never been seen again.
You grab the steering wheel and swerve or anything like that?
Just a couple months later, Gabby Petito went missing on a cross-country vlogging road trip with her boyfriend Brian Laundrie, and her case gained international attention from media and law enforcement almost immediately. David Robinson built a friendship with Gabby's father, Joe Petito, and the two took the stage together at CrimeCon this past weekend.
We had a platform where we were talking about white woman syndrome, as well as being able to talk about our individual cases and how the disparities is.
That idea is that missing white women receive more attention and resources than families of missing loved ones of other races, a topic Robinson says Gabby's father was extremely receptive to.
He told me he was he's doing everything he can going forward to help families of all races, get the attention that they need in every case. Every case should have that equal amount of attention.
Robinson says while most of his son's disappearance revolves around Buckeye and the vast desert out there, he's now focusing on where his son lived in Tempe and who may have been there before he vanished.
I'm looking into my son's apartment. These things are very crucial. These things that we don't hear in the report, we don't hear in the public.
Robinson says having the opportunity to speak on stage and have a booth at CrimeCon was a great way to find new resources and support, doing everything he can across the country to keep Daniel's name at the forefront.
I always think about him every time. He don't have a voice, I'm his voice for him.
Robinson has waited for the weather to cool down here, but he is working on organizing another search this fall for his son in Buckeye, just working on gathering resources and nonprofits to help and to support the volunteer searchers that also come out to aid him there. So.
Gosh, this case is just so mysterious. The evidence they found just way out in the desert, and his dad, every time we speak with him, you sense the frustration because it's like, where does he go from here? Doesn't the evidence trail grow cold?
Yeah, I mean, it does. And that's the thing. It's so confusing to all of us because he went missing at the hottest time of the year in 2021. He didn't have his clothes or his belongings. They were at the crash site. So where could he have gone? Right. How far could he have made it? It just doesn't make sense. Yeah. And that's so frustrating. But I commend his dad, who has the strength to keep going. And he does such a good job finding new ways to get people's attention, saying, hey, my son's still missing, but let's talk about something different with the case and bring it up. And that way you just don't forget Daniel Robinson's name.
Yeah, he's just being a soldier. And you think about all the families that are going through this and how grueling that must be day in and day out.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I talk to these families all the time and it's awful, but it is cool to see the Petito family and the Robinson family coming together like this from really across the country with their cases. Yeah. It's powerful.
I've never heard.
My name is Daniel Robinson. I attend AC Flora, and I'm planning to major in geology at College of Charleston.
Good job. Hello, everyone. Dave Robinson here, the father of geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson. I wanted to talk to you all today about some of our missing Americans in this country. We have 600,000 Americans that go missing every year, over 600,000 a year, over 3,000 a day. As we're speaking today, someone is going missing. A family is actually going through tragedy of having a missing loved one and the pain and suffering that comes along with it. So again, I'm Dave Robinson. I want to talk a little bit about something that happened over the weekend. I was trying to, help a family that had lost a lost loved one that they are searching for. They're currently searching for Zalik Williams is his name. You guys probably heard of his story. It came to my attention, a few days ago, and I did share, but at the same time, I was unaware that they was doing searches. So what I'm coming for is to tell you guys that, if you're out here in South Carolina, you're out here in Columbia, if you're not, I know when I was out in the desert, I had people showed up from all across the country. So help the family out. I'm still looking for opportunities to be able to help, as in, getting out there and putting what I like to say boots on the ground to, help find the loved one. So if you have any leads or you have any information, families definitely need that. If think you know something, it's good to share because you never know your information that actually will bring something, that investigators can use to find a missing loved one. Again, that's what I was talking about today. As the 600,000 Americans that go missing every year is a crisis that I care about. Of course, Daniel's missing. I'm not going to stop fighting for my son. I'm not going to stop searching for him. And also, I'm not going to stop fighting for other Americans that go missing. So again, this quick live, I know it came out of the blue, but this quick live would be a subject of the 600,000 Americans that go missing every year. But I just want to share real quick, you guys. I'm gonna share a screen with you, but I want to share the video of the Williams family talking about their loved one, and then from after that, I will go into Warriors of the Missing, and we'll talk about the missing Americans that we have in this country. So definitely want to make sure that again, we get all the help that we can. So thank you so much for everyone who actually joining in this evening. I know football is on and things like that. So you're actually watching. I truly appreciate everyone. Again, after the video, I will come back and we'll talk about the family. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you to both of you. And I'm so incredibly sorry that you are going through this. I can't imagine what it's like to be in your shoes right now. Maybe I can start with you. Is there any update at all that you've been given, either from the police or from your own investigations?
No, the only updates we have are from leads that we might get that don't pan out to be Zelig. People having sightings of people that may look like Z, but don't turn out to be Z.
And Kathy, I mentioned it earlier. I'll repeat it. This is incredibly heartbreaking for you. When you gave that news conference and said he's all you've got, I learned then that you had lost 2 daughters as well. So my heart just absolutely breaks for you. Can you walk me through that last time that you saw Zelig, the last things that he said to you, and that clue that he's holding an 8x10 photo in his hand?
Well, it started out around 2:30 that morning. He had got up and asked me if I was okay. And I told him, yes, I'm okay. And he went back to bed. He said, I'm going back to bed. And okay. And then after that, he went to bed. And I went back to sleep. And that morning, I got up and I go walking every morning. And so I got up around about 6 o'clock, and I leave the house around about 6:25 to be to the park at 6:30. So I go do my walking, and then I come back home, and I sat on my front porch reading my devotions, and Zelig came out. And Zelig said, good morning. How did you sleep last night? I said, I slept well. I said, well, good morning to you. How you slept last night? He said, I slept good. I said, okay, great. I said, let me let me see that photo shot you have in your hand. And he just looked at me and said something, but I didn't understand what he was saying. So he got in the vehicle and he left. And I didn't see him anymore. So until I got a call from this young lady named Camille saying that Zella was in a crash. I said, well, Zella just left me. And she said, well, it was a SOS. I didn't know what that was about, but she told me it was emergency contact that Zella had on his phone, letting them know that something happened. So he went to three people in New York.
And he left the house at 9:52 that morning, and that alert came through about 10:10 that morning.
Mm-hmm.
So almost an hour later, the alert, and by the way, I should ask you, Mayoka, that it wasn't just one person who got the alert. Three of his friends got the alert, right, for the car crash?
Yes.
And did they all report back to you at the same time, Mayoka?
I know they called Kathy. I don't think it was at the same time. But I know at least one of them she spoke with, and it was literally, I want to say less than 20 minutes from when he left the house, because it was 9:52 a.m. before when he left, and then 10:10 a.m. is when that pin came through.
Kathy, it's something you said just a little earlier sort of stuck with me. He woke you up at about 2:30 in the morning to ask if you were okay. Is there something there, any detail that maybe police can mine, something on his phone? Maybe he got a text message from somebody and he was worried about his family. Like that seems odd. Or maybe tell me, is it not strange that he would wake you up at 2:30 in the morning to ask if you're okay?
Yeah, it was strange to me also.
Yes, we don't know the reason why. You might have heard that we said that we believe Zelig stopped taking his medication prior to him leaving. And I think that was one of the telltale signs for Kathy that something might be a little off, even though he seemed fine that morning when he left. Yeah, just not sure.
That is an interesting piece as well, that he's on medication for mental wellness and had stopped taking it. What about the location? Does he frequent that trail? Is he a hiker? Does he go there for meditation or walks, or is that a strange place for the car to be found?
So he possibly had been there before, because as a family, we like walking trails, not hiking necessarily, but just walking trails in areas where you will find peace and serenity and can possibly just sit and, think, a little bit. So it was a surprise because we weren't familiar with the park or the trail, especially at that end of it. But it would be understood that he would go walking at a location like that.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
When the lights and camera turn off, I will be here. When the interest and conversation fade, I will be here. When there's no one around, a father will do anything it takes to be there for his son, to protect his family.
Without these special people behind me, I wouldn't have a search. Thank you, everyone, for staying in with me. Again, for those who joining in, I'm David Robinson. I'm the father of geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson. My son Daniel went missing in 2021, and he's been 24 years old when he went missing. My aim is to continue to fight for my son, and I'm going to continue to do so, and also to help missing American cases all across this country. By doing everything I can, whether it's advocacy, running for office to get some legislations done, as well as sharing just simple things that can be done. I'm asking you guys to do the same, sharing a person's case. We want to pray for the Williams family, the League Williams, who just recently went missing. The video you guys just saw, just really, really pray for that family and do everything you can. Google and learn a little bit more about the case, and and lend all the support you can. You hear anything, please share it with the family, share it with the Richland County Sheriff's Office as well. And also, again, like I said, these flyers that may be coming out, make sure you get them out there, because that's really crucial for a family to get that information out, to get answers. I also want to just not forget, we have some statistics that's there. So I want to share real quick. Missing in America, we definitely have the crisis here in this country. Again, over 600,000 Americans go missing every year. It is something that it has been plaguing our country for a long time. It's sad to say, even with that, we rarely sometimes hear about what's happening, in this country. I didn't know, as a family, we didn't know that there's 600,000 Americans go missing every year. I didn't even hear about many of the missing American cases, even here in South Carolina, where we have over 200 Americans missing already this year. And one of the things is, when I first heard the story about my son, my daughter called, and I was sitting in a place. It sounds so familiar when I hear the Williams family talk about Zalik Williams when he came, and how the mysterious circumstances of his disappearance. It's same thing with Daniel. The vehicle found, of course, 30 days later. But it was the fact that, hey, you're sitting in an area, you never would think that it would happen to your family. And then you get that phone call. She had received that phone call saying he had an SOS type emergency, stating that more like they thought it was an accident of a vehicle. And that alerted him that something was wrong, and he's missing. With Daniel, his sister called me and said a coworker came to the house, and that alerted her, and alerted our family. So what I'm saying is, when we think that things wouldn't happen, that's how we learn more about missing American cases, and that's how these things folding for a lot of Americans right now. Missing in America, according to the National Missing and Unidentified Persons NamUs database, which is funded by the U.S. Department of Justice, more than 600,000 people go missing annually. Approximately 4,400 unidentified bodies are recovered every year. According to the U.S. Department of Justice National Missing and Unidentified Person System, there are 740 missing Americans in the United States as of February 21st of 2023. But, those numbers are still climbing. I just didn't bring those statistics, of course, for 2024, but you best believe they are pretty much remarkable the same. Every case in the missing is urgently important. Not one case is more important than the other. However, there are alarming statistics that cannot be ignored. Out of all the missing American cases, statistics for the United States, nearly 40% of missing persons are people of color. Yet Black Americans make up only 13% of the population. Like I said, out of the total number of people that go missing every year, 40% of those are people of color. Though Black Americans make up 13% of the population. This is a 2024 alert I want to put up as well. The top states, 10 states that have missing American cases, the highest amount of missing American cases: California, Florida, Texas, Arizona, Washington State, New York State, also Michigan, Oregon, Pennsylvania, and Tennessee. According to the Harvard Political Review, the way the media portrays missing people cases is also skewed. Media around the disappearance of white women often focuses on their role in their community, highlighting how they were good mothers, daughters, or friends. This causes people to sympathize with them and their families and push for their safety. Conversely, the media often highlights the problems present in the lives of people of color. Criminal history, drug use, or dangerous living situations are all used to justify the tragedy, and instills distance between media consumers and the victim. This distance is dangerous. This distance is dangerous because it normalizes these tragedies and generates apathy for other missing people of color. And the reason why I want to put that out, this is one of the reasons why we see low action sometimes when it comes to missing Americans of color. We definitely have low action everywhere in every pocket of the population with race, but it more so happened with those of color because of things like this. Even with the children, they would say, hey, we have those things, say, hey, maybe they're just a runaway. I have things where the Buckeye Police Department, in Daniel's case, for instance, would try to make him seem like he killed it, he off himself. He was depressed. Though Daniel's a brilliant scientist, he's an intelligent scientist. He's an American scientist, graduated with honors. So, but the family will find ourselves have to try to justify, have to try to humanize, try to do everything we can to make our loved one appealing in a sense to those out in the media to say, hey, look, we really love our children too. So again, I put that up there to kind of give some understanding of how the media works when it comes to and things, how information goes out when it comes depending on who the person is and who they are, and when it comes to terms to race and things like that. These people of color are people like my son Daniel. Daniel, of course, went missing on June the 23rd of 2021, age of 2024 when he went missing. And he's going up to be 28 coming in February. So again, everyone, it's been a long time. People like Denisha Goodner, also out of Madison, Tennessee. She was born, of course, January the 1st of 2026, been missing ever since August 6th of 2023. And many others. We have many others out there. By far, the most common reasons a person is reported missing is kidnapping, particularly of children under the age of 6. According to the Child Find of America, up to 2,300 children are reported missing every day in the U.S. Please help me share the missing people's stories. Also, let's keep awareness alive about these terrible statistics. So again, my job is to do everything I can. We cannot be selfish. We cannot just think about our family. We can't go in our corners. We all are in this together. Whether you have a missing loved one or not, we definitely have to fight for each other, and that's my job as a father, as an American, as a human, is to do everything we can to fight for all our missing American cases, and also to highlight it because, like I'm saying, we don't have the urgency that I'd like to see when it comes to the government, and that's the reason why I'm running for office as well. We're going to highlight this thing just like we deal with the opioids crisis, and we're going to end this crisis with the opioids. We need to end this crisis with missing Americans. So again, we're constantly needing your support to make sure we do so. Also, we can't forget about all our cases. Cases like Kaya Taylor. She is a young woman from Plant City, Florida, who went missing on February the 6th of 2020. And in 2020, her car was found abandoned and running at a railroad crossing. Think about this, you guys, and I want to say this is something that we definitely need to be aware of, and it don't sound really familiar. I think I got a freeze up here. If I think I have a freeze up here. If you see it's a freeze up, I apologize for those who are watching. Yes, I'm having a freeze up, and I'll see if I can try to fix this real quick here. Okay. Okay, if you guys can hear me, I really apologize for this. I did a little quick stop here. I'm having some issues, some technical issues. Okay, I think I got it back again. I think I'm back again. Okay, if you guys can hear me, please put a thumb up in the chat section. I want to make sure that I'm actually, for those who are on Facebook, YouTube. If you guys can hear me, please. Thank you, T and Wildflower. I see you there. Thank you so much for clearing that up for me. I seen it freeze up on my screen, and I want to make sure everybody can hear me. And what I'm saying, you guys, but let me start over with Kaya. Kaya Taylor, she went. Thank you so much, Dragonfly Lady. I really appreciate that. Everyone who's let me know that. Thank you, T and Wildflower. Thank you for the thumbs ups. I truly appreciate you. Kaya is a young lady, a young woman from Plant City, Florida, who went missing on February the 6th of 2020. Her car was found abandoned and running at a railroad crossing with her belongings inside. Despite extensive searches and investigations, no significant leads have emerged. Known for her vibrant personality and close relationships, Kaya's disappearance has deeply affected her family and community, who continue to hope for her safe return. Again, if you guys know anything, please call the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, 813-247-8200. Again, like I say, this case is so reminiscent, just of a vehicle, just the circumstances behind it. And sometimes you hear law enforcement say they don't see foul play. You hear them say, nothing really big here, nothing to see, nothing to hear here. And could you imagine the car running at a railroad crossing? She's never been found to this date, and that's not an indication of something that has happened to this young lady. So we want to make sure we're sharing the story, and do not forget. Again, if you guys have information about her disappearance, please call it Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. It's been years. For those who know something and reluctant to say something, we have to be humans and make sure that we bring in closures for families out there who have missing loved ones. Again, I want to share some more stories of Demaija Willis, missing on June the 20th of 2024. She's 20 years old, missing out of Aurora, Colorado, a Black female, medium built. She's 5'11", 147 pounds, light brown hair, and her hair come down to her shoulder, and her eye color is black. Also, location last seen, she was seen on June the 20th of 2024 near the 3,800 block of South Bahama Way around 1:00 a.m. The circumstances, according to the family, she has a cognitive disability. Anyone information, please call the Aurora Police Department at 303-739-6099, or you can to reach out to the Black and Missing Foundation, 877-97-BAMFI. Also, we have Miss Jeanette Shaw Gibson missing. Also, you guys, please pay attention. September the 13th of 2024. Age now would be 40, out of Hinesville, Georgia. She's a Black female, medium built. Her height is 5'6". She's 120 pounds. Her hair color is black. Her hair length is medium, and her eye color brown. She was last seen in approximately at 10:30 p.m. at her residence in the vicinity of the 100 block, was at the 1,100 block of Raleigh Doctor in Hinesville, Georgia. The circumstances is unknown. Again, if anybody have any information, Hinesville Police Department at 917-368-8211, or the Black and Missing Foundation, 877-97-BAMFI. And also we have Desiree Hill. She's been missing, of course, that's October 2021. She's now 14 years old, and she's been missing out of Washington, D.C. Gender, she's a Black female, and also the complexion is medium. Her height is 5'2". She's 100 pounds. Her hair is black. Her hair length is shoulder to her shoulders, and also her eye color is brown. Last seen at the 3,300 block of 14th Street Southwest around 9 p.m. Anybody have information, call the Metropolitan Police Department at 202-576-6768, or the Black and Missing Foundation again at 877-97-BAMFI. Thank you, everybody, for to follow along with me on this. And so again, my job is to make sure bring awareness to fight for missing Americans out there. And first of all, I'm going to go into the chat section real quick, and I want to hear some of the comments as well, those who may have questions. But I want to say, first of all, thank you so much for joining in, Tracy. Good morning to you. Thank you, Dragonfly Lady. Good afternoon to you as well. Also, Red Rose, thank you. I really appreciate it. Admire you, Mr. Robinson, so much. Your strength out of love is inspiring. Much love. Yes, and I thank you guys, everybody, for your love and support. Of course, I'm a father. We definitely going to have to continue to fight. Thank you, T and Wildflower, for being here, and thanks so much for moderating, being here for day one, and helping out with Please Help Find Daniel, moderating. Many don't know what you do in the background, so I really appreciate everything. Hello, David and everyone. Also, thank you, Tracy, again, for being here. I really appreciate it. Yep, another Maria. Thanks so much for your constant support as well. Hello to you. Red Rose, again, thanks so much for being here. Remember to share the channel across all other social media platforms to get eyes and subs. And thanks so much for putting that out. And I know T Wildflower putting that out in the chats as well. But yeah, I forget and I neglect to say that a lot of times. Please share, like, subscribe. Put a thumbs up sometimes in the chat session to help with the algorithm to get this channel out, to continue to grow the channel. I've been pushing for a couple of years now to keep it going. We need to reach out to as many people we can. I want to apologize for those who may have been looking for me to do more lives and things like that. You see this banner behind me. I'm running for Congress, so of course it's taking a lot of time away from things I would like to do, the lives, as much as I would like to do a lot more. But it's not showing that I'm not here for Daniel. I'm not here for. I'm definitely continuing my fight. But like I said, it takes up so much time. Trying to push up until November 5th for election. So, but thank you so much, Red Rose, for putting that up. Yeah, definitely, guys. If you hit that like, share, subscribe button, it definitely will help with everything in terms of getting that information out there for other loved ones. Thank you again, Dragonfly Lady. You, Daniel, and your family are always in our prayers. Thank you so much. We definitely need those prayers. Definitely need that. I believe in prayer. I'm a prayer believer, and I know how prayer can change things. So thank you so much. Here's red flags to call at 2:30 a.m. Asking if your loved one is okay. Maybe he was and his family are threatened by someone possibly. And I believe speaking of this Zalik Williams case in the family, again, let's keep them in prayers. Not just prayers, everybody. Look up and find the social media platform, their family page, and whatever it takes to help share that story, because we definitely need to make sure that we're getting everybody involved in this case. It is very important when it comes to helping the missing loved one family. Dragonfly Lady is wonderful. There is a foundation that can help with missing people. However, I would like to see a community care team and that can investigate the circumstances without so much red tape. And I agree. And thanks so much for that, because those are things, when you say that, these are things that the community we think of and want to make sure that we're, we speaking to law enforcement. We say things like that, Dragonfly Lady, this community, this community have ideas. Sometimes law enforcement need to pay attention to. These are ideas that the community is asking for to see things done. Just like I was talking about the clear alert before. This is something that was brought to my attention by a friend of mine in Louisiana who was trying her best to get this implemented in Louisiana, and also to mimic that of what happened in Texas. Texas have this clear alert. Some other states are adopting their form of it, but a lot of states are without it. The clear alert, according to I'm going to go through this real quick. The clear alert is a coordinated law enforcement adult rescue. It's a public notification system used in some U.S. states to help locate missing adults who may be endangered. It is similar to the Amber Alert system used for children, but is focused on adults who do not meet the criteria for a civil alert, which is typically used for elderly individuals with cognitive impairments. The clear alert is activated when law enforcement determines that an adult between the ages of 18 to 65 is missing under suspicious or dangerous circumstances, such as being abducted, endangered, or having a serious medical condition. The goal is to quickly disseminate information to the public through various channels, including media, electronic billboards, and social media, to enlist the community's help to locate the missing person, ensuring their safety. The criteria for issuing a clear alert can vary by state, but generally includes the following: the individual is missing under unexplained suspicious circumstances. The person is believed to be in an imminent danger, or bodily injury or death. There is insufficient information available to distribute to the public that could assist in locating the person. Again, I just want to put this out. I want to continue, but I want to put this out there. Hey, a clear alert is something that definitely could have helped, even in my son's case, in Zalik Williams' case, and many others. I mean, I can't say when I heard of Mr. Williams' case, I heard it. I'm doing this running, but something. I'm on the road all the time, and I promise you guys, I haven't seen that on a billboard. I ended up running into it by seeing a social media post. And that's why I'm saying good. One thing for sure, everyone need to share a story a day. Share a story. Just find a missing person. It's all over the internet. Find a missing person case to share. I mean, just share one. And it's not going to hurt your timeline, or to take a moment, just hit that share button for a family, and share it on your timeline or your page, because that's important. We want to see it out there for those who don't use social media. That clear alert will help. The Amber Alert helps. The Silver Alert helps. We want to make sure we find all missing Americans. We cannot say. I think what happened, a lot of states don't want to implement this clear alert, for instance, because they'll look at a person like Daniel's age. He's a young adult, and they say, well, they can fend for themselves, but we have to look out for our kids because they can't fend for themselves. We have to look out for our elderly because they can't fend for themselves. Nobody could say that a person between that criteria can't fend for themselves. I mean, they can fend for themselves, because we don't know the circumstances behind that. And I can tell you, not every case, like the Buckeye police said about Daniel. That Daniel, he's a grown man. He could disappear if he want to. Daniel didn't tell them that he wanted to disappear. So what I'm saying is that mentality that law enforcement have a lot of times that causes, them not to act really fast. So I want to go real quick on this point. Missing loved ones, and I'm going to add a little bit more that I didn't. This is a little smaller little sheet that I created to kind of give an outline of some things. I'm still working on it. 9 times 10, due diligence. And one thing we do as a family, we go out there and we do our due diligence when our loved one go missing. 9 times 10, a family has already taken steps to be sure that their loved one is missing. This is the first step in finding them. That's the first thing we do. We call our families. We call, we call the person and go by to check on them. You name it. We're doing it all. I think I'm freezing up again. You guys, I apologize. I'm keep losing. I believe I'm having some issues with freeze up. So if I'm freezing up on the screen, I just want to apologize to you guys. I'm working on it. The day I think I had it last time I was on a live, I had a little freeze up too. So if I'm freezing up and you're not hearing me, I apologize. If I can see if I can clear some of this stuff up. But yeah, again, the spreadsheet here, like I said, one family, we always do our due diligence. We start off that way. We always going out and look for our loved one. We always calling them. We're talking to families and friends, and so we do all the stuff first before we say, "Hey, look, our loved one is missing." We just all man say, "Hey, I made a phone call to Daniel, and he didn't answer his phone, and I called him 2 times more, and he didn't answer the phone. Then I'm calling the cops and saying he missing." No, we're gonna start looking at the pattern. Maybe he just didn't want to talk that time. Maybe sleep. That's normal stuff. But we know the pattern of a person. We know circumstances. Then we look at the time lift. Like in Daniel's case, it's been 6 hours. I look at the time length when my daughter called and told me some things. We would do our due diligence, and then I look at the time length from what the employer said that they last spoke with my son. So what I'm saying is, we do our due diligence, and then the next step is to call law enforcement. Of course, that's what we do. We go and reach out for law enforcement. But I can tell you some of the things here. Call the local police department to report your loved one is missing, of course, and if relevant. Call the department that has jurisdiction of the area where the loved one was last seen. Now, in Daniel's case, the reason why I say it this way, because I called the Tempe Police Department. My son was living in Tempe, Arizona at the time. And I think I got to freeze up again. I keep having these freeze ups. I have to try to fix that because I'm not sure if you guys are actually getting that freeze up too. But if you're getting that freeze up, I apologize. And I mean, I'm missing, you guys are missing a lot what I'm saying, and that's going to be problematic. So let me see if I can get that going. And also, T and Wildflower, if you can let me know if you were actually not hearing or seeing me at all, because I'm trying to get this together. So hopefully I'm not losing too much. Okay, you hear me, and also can you see? Oh, thank you, Chad. I really appreciate it. Can you hear me and also see my screen? I don't know if y'all guys seeing in the freeze up. If you see in the freeze up, let me know. See if you see in the freeze up, then I can tell. Because on my end, it's showing a lot of freeze ups. Oh, thank you, Chad. I really appreciate it. I truly appreciate that. So you guys are not seeing any freeze ups. Okay, great. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay. All right. All right. I think I can get this going. I think I have too much bandwidth going on in my right here at home, and I'm trying to see if I can alleviate some of that. But anyway, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yep, another Maria. Thanks so much for putting that up there too. Thank you. So I'm gonna keep going forward. Yes, but again, we do our due diligence as a family. We definitely do that. We're making sure that we're not only uh, not only just you know just knowing that our loved one is missing. We actually making phone calls, do those due diligence and things like that. Again, do not leave. One thing for sure: do not let law enforcement. You guys, when you call, let them dictate about what you know about your loved one. And one of those things that happens all the time across the country is when you're going to report your loved one missing, law enforcement will say, "Hey, how long have they been missing?" And you tell them, "Hey, look, how long you think they have been missing, basically." And you tell them, "Hey, look, it's been this minute, this length of time, blah blah blah. I want to report." And they'll tell you, "Hey, well, you need to wait 12 hours or you need to wait 24 hours," and they'll look at a person like in that age group I was telling you before, where they will say, "This is a grown person. They could disappear if they want to." It's not law enforcement's job to determine if that loved one is indeed missing or not. I mean, when I say determine, the time that a family should be calling and to let law enforcement know that this loved one is missing. So again, make sure that when you say do not allow a law enforcement to tell you that you have to wait 1 minute, they can't even tell you that, because when they tell you that, please immediately ask that person, "I need to know your policy, what policies that you have that says I have to wait 1 minute to report my loved one missing." You already did the due diligence. You already know those answers. You know your loved one is missing. You already did all of that. You don't need 24 hours to verify that person missing. A lot of times law enforcement say, "Well, we want to make sure, give 24 hours to see if that person come back home or you get in contact with them." No, that is time lost. Time lost, you guys, is very important when it's very important when law enforcement is moving really quick and fast when it comes to in terms of I mean, I'm saying it's not like the 48 hours show that we used to watch on TV say the first 48 hours. That's when somebody's deceased. And law enforcement, the detectives have 48 hours to try to collect those crucial evidence really quickly, because as time goes, the ability to find the answers to those questions diminish really fast. So what I'm saying is it's different when that person's lying there still. These are moving parts. When the loved one is missing, that is a moving circumstance. It's more likely. If it's an adoption, for instance, it's a moving circumstances. You cannot wait 24 hours. You're losing that track. In other words, you're 24 hours behind for a law enforcement officer who's starting to do some type of investigation. So you cannot allow that. So 1 minute is too long when a family is calling to report their loved one missing. So again, ask them about that policy. Most law enforcement agencies do not even have such a policy in their department. In fact, when the Buckeye Police Department told us that told me that I had to wait 12 hours, and I literally had to hang the phone up, you guys, because I was 8 hours, I was 2 hours short. Hang the phone up, wait 2 hours, and then call back again, and then they accept the report. That was 2 hours more loss. You get what I'm saying? And then I went later on, hindsight, I found they have a full policy there at the Buckeye Police Department that says you don't supposed to, the person can immediately report. So they went against their own policy and caused, and I say, caused Daniel to be missing today, continuing to be missing today. Also, once you report, your report is taken, immediately ask the ask for a case number, and have them add your loved one to the NCIC database. If relevant, the Amber Alert, Silver Alert, and also, like I said, you guys, what I'm trying to make sure we push for every state in this country is that Silver, that Clear Alert. And what I want to back up real quick again, when it comes to make sure that you get that NCIC, get that case number first, NCIC. Make sure they do that, is because when you get that case number, I said this one time before, please, and if you have missed a loved one, or if you end up having, God forbid, because you never know, I'm telling you, it happened to our family. Please, I know it's emotional time. I know it's hurtful. I know it's hard. Trust me, your mind is a wreck. So find someone who can actually start a social media page, who can start a website, etc. But definitely make sure that you get that case number and start doing an investigation. Start keeping up information. Keep up that case number, what detective you talk to, when you talk to this person. All that stuff can matter. It can matter to show if law enforcement actually really being active in your case. Is also to help you do some investigation of your own, because it's not just the owners of, I believe, just law enforcement. We got to take some actions ourselves when it comes out of missing loved one, and that is to try to get all the information we can. I know it's hard. Trust me, I've been there, and I'm still continuing to be there when you're emotional, hurt and broken under that circumstance, and your missing loved one is out there and you don't know what to do. But please try to gather all the information that you can, because it'll come down. Trust me, it'll be important later on. Also, again, have law enforcement reduce flyers to make sure that that can be used on a local news channel, printed distributions, and also to be used on social media. And of course, one of the things we will be doing is talking out and reaching out to everyone we can. Start a family website. The family website is an important step to in the foundation needed to help locate your loved one. A website is a hub where families that are ready to help can have a centralized location for important information about your loved one. And also, for people of color or anybody, one thing for sure, it also help you humanize your loved one. When I say that, able to put those pictures up that you would like to have out there. And remember, these are public stuff. So pictures you want to have out there to show who this person is. And it's sad you have to go through that sometimes. A lot of times it helps when it comes to, everyone joining in to try to pull together to find your loved one. Because again, I love our loved ones the same exact way. There's no difference. I think anybody can say, when it comes to their child, we're going to do everything we can to fight for ours, saying, and make sure we're like Daniel. I'm his voice. I'm his voice when he can't speak for himself. Again, and lastly, you guys, I have to jump off because I definitely have a lot of things. I'm still, December 5th is coming really quick. Excuse me, November 5th. See how my mind is? November 5th is coming really quick, and I have to do some things to push for that. But yeah, I wanted to take the time out today again to talk about missing Americans, and try to do everything like I humanly can to bring that awareness, and also to continue my fight for everybody, everyone, my son, and make sure we get those answers. Larnell, thanks so much for being here. Voting is important, especially on local level. It matters with cases like these. And thanks so much for moderating, Larnell, and also for being a friend of mine, a personal friend. Also being a part of our Daniel Robinson Foundation, and also it's so much more. The A team, all of that. You wear a lot of hats, man. I really appreciate everything you do. And you're right, voting is important. I want to print points, since you made that point. In Arizona, we had Sheriff in the zone who quit his post prior to election That's 2024 elections, for instance. Sheriff Zone has unfinished business when it comes to Daniel's case. Sheriff Skinner took over for Sheriff Pinzon. One thing with Sheriff Skinner, he was working under Sheriff Pinzon. I'd never met him. Still to this day, haven't even talked to him. But I reached out to him. And what I'm saying is it does matter because Sheriff Skinner, who's currently holding that spot, he ignored our family. After everything we've been through for over 3 years now, when I say in terms of everything we've done in Arizona, in his county, I solved the case for the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, finding a missing stolen car out there in that desert while searching for Daniel. In my searches, we found other human remains in Maricopa County to bring closures for families. And Sheriff Skinner not one time reached out to me to say thank you, or reach out to me to show any condolences to my family. Have not even, when I say they don't even sit down to even decide to even have a meeting when I ask for it. He know I'm running for office, and to have a meeting to discuss ways to go forward in my son's case. Instead, he dodged his responsibility as a sheriff in his county. Mind you guys, Daniel went missing in Buckeye, Arizona. Buckeyes in Maricopa County. The county always supersedes the city. He's in charge of that whole entire county. That's include Phoenix, Arizona, Goodyear, some of these other places, and that's his county. And when I say it's his county, he's responsible for that. But he's neglecting his duties as a sheriff. If a person can do that, you guys have to be questionable. Again, what Larnell's saying, who you're voting for when it comes to that. Because if you don't have that kind of thing in your head to say, hey, you know what? I know this father is really crucial, or really critical of the low, low job of some of the law enforcement have done, especially my son. That's what I'm going to do, you guys. I'm going to point out those things. I'm not anti-police, and I'm going to keep saying it all the time. What I am anti is laziness, apathy, things that's not right. Those kind of things you have to point out. They are public officials. You have to point those things out. And if you're taking it personal, you can't continue to do your job as a person. You don't deserve to be in that job. And I don't really believe that Sheriff Skinner should be in that job when he can't throw those things aside. And when a family requests to have a dialogue with you and talk with you, you ignore that request. And you hide and say, hey, you're out of town. Or then when you get pushed in the corner, you'll send a generic letter saying, that you were seeing, and you just put somebody's name in there a little bit. You send a generic letter and push off your your responsibilities off to the Buckeye Police Department. So what I'm saying is, so be careful, like Larnell said, who you deciding to vote for. I'm not trying to tip the table, tip the scale, or anything like that. What I'm saying is, just keep those things in mind when you see in a case like Daniel Robinson case that's been going on for over 3 years in Maricopa County, who have produced a lot of things. I haven't gotten the answers to my son's case, but we got answers for other families out there. So that's enough said. Enough said when it comes to fighting. And again, we already see the statistics. The statistics don't lie. We have 40% of all missing cases of people of color. Arizona is full of missing people of color. We have the tribes, for lack of words, what I'm saying, the tribal communities out there. We have a high rate of missing Americans out there, and that we don't talk about. And so what I'm saying is, he has a big responsibility when it comes to missing Americans, and I'm going to fight. Like I told the telecommunication companies, and you guys know the legislation I'm trying to get ready to pull. I'm coming. I say I'm coming through your back door. I'm not saying in a bad robbery way or something like that. I'm saying it is when that was the decision when I decided I'm going to run for office, because you know what? I saw the changes need to be done. They weren't willing to do it, so I had to go out there and do it myself. And that's why I'm running, to do it myself. I'm the person who don't quit and who's going to continue to fight. And you guys seen that for 3 years when it comes to my son. That's the same approach I got when it comes to anything I do. I'm going to keep pushing forward. If somebody moves slow, then I just have to do it myself. And that's my mentality. So again, thank you, Larnell, for even putting that up there to give me that moment to speak on that. So I really appreciate that. Again, to go back, definitely, again, everyone, please share a story a day. It's very important for a family. The Williams case, the You name it. It's a lot of cases out there, and I really apologize for those I don't know. And we all into this thing together. No matter what race you are, what color you are, what religion you are, we all are in this together. We're Americans first, and then so we want to make sure that we are not leaving anyone behind. Like you guys know, I'm not going to go into to my politics, but what I want to say is part of who I am as a person. I don't believe in leaving anyone behind, Americans behind. Being a soldier who defended our country, who stand in the front line, put my life at risk. I know the value of representing people and not leaving anyone behind, no matter who you are. And so again, we all Americans first, and then we can throw those our political ideologies and religions and all that to the side for one moment first of being Americans. I've seen it. Being out there in Arizona, in that desert, we all out there looking for scientists. People's out there with me side by side, looking for what I would say for them is a stranger, utilizing their gas money, their time, you name it. I don't take that for granted at all. So I really appreciate everybody who have done that. And I saw what the true nature of what we are, regardless of what we see out here in this news and the media. If we as people together, we can fight for these solutions and things like that. So again, we have missing Americans out here. We need to fight. We need to share a story every day. So just keep that in mind. Lastly, I want to go to the website real quick. Please help find Daniel, how you guys can help in my situation with Daniel. I have to make sure I put that. Daniel is my first priority. And I want to make sure that you guys know. Please help find Daniel.com. Go to the website. Please sign that petition. And very important, one of the first things I did when I started this website is to get a petition because I knew I was going to need it. And I updated as much as I can. I have 132,499 voices. It says signatures, but I say voices. Is you guys' voices that you're adding to support my efforts to find my son. Also, for those who also want to request flyers, who have a request flyers, I definitely need those flyers out there. I cannot do this without you guys getting those flyers out there to keep Daniel's awareness out there. Running for office, I don't have time to really put that yell out there immediately sometimes. So when you guys put these flyers out there for me, it helps. These are free charge, free to you. You don't have to pay anything. You just request them. We'll get them out to you. I really appreciate it. You guys continue to do that. It's very important to get those flyer distributions. Also, for those who would like to help financially, and this is a form of donating. If you print these flyers out yourself, that's also part of that. Please help find Daniel website at the beginning. You can also print the flyers out yourself. That will help with resources. I know how much it costs. Trust me, I know how much it is to print. So that's what I'm saying is a form of donation when you guys do that. So I want to thank you so much for those who decide to do it that way. But again, you can request it for free. You can do it as a donation by printing them out yourself. Also, everyone, and of course, we have a search tab, donate tab, and things like that. But that search tab will be something that if and when I can get back to Arizona to finalize a little area. I don't know what to expect because I can't tell you from what I hear from one of my friends at the Air Force Base is they started that project out there in that desert. So I have to go out when I get to Arizona. I have to navigate that part of the desert to find out how I can get volunteers in the area that I want to get searched, the last little area, and and then how many people I would need, that type thing, because it might have to end up being something small. Just utilizing people who have those resources of those type of vehicles, those all-terrain vehicles and 4x4s and even horseback and things like that. It depends on what I see when I get there. So can't do that from South Carolina, until I actually get my boot back on the ground to do so. Also, you come down again on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com is the front page. You come down. This is very helpful for Daniel Case. Download these PDFs to join in on the mail-in protest. You guys hear me say mail-in protest. Mail-in protest is part of the efforts to help me find Daniel. Because what it does is, keep law enforcement, keep Sheriff Skinner and the rest of them doing their job, keep Chief Sanders to do his job, keep them from continuing to try to push and say Daniel Case is a cold case. I can tell you guys from that first initial part, the Buckeye Police Department was calling Daniel case a cold case before that vehicle showed up. That vehicle. Well, I'll take that back. After that vehicle showed up, when they threatened me and told me if I didn't get it out of there immediately, it would be towed away and I had to pay storage fees. If I would have did that day, y'all would have never ever heard of Daniel Robinson case. It would never went on that national platform the way I've been pushing hard to do at that time. It took 3 months to get it there. It would have never, certain things would never happen. Y'all it just point blank, you would never heard. I would have left, got Daniel vehicle out of that compound and took off. But God had a plan, and God made sure I had a meeting and made sure they held that vehicle. And I forced them to do some type of forensics, which you guys see about the shift swabbing, and they still wheel shifting. And that wasn't even enough, guys. Trust me, it's a lot we could talk about, but I'm not going to go there today. But what I'm saying is, this is important to keep Daniel's case from becoming cold. Is to join in on that mail-in protest. It derived from Sheriff Pizzone at the time. He gave me 2 promises based on this protest that I was going to. Actually, I was going to have a physical protest. It was based on that, and the reason why I came up with this is because Sheriff Pizzone at the time gave me 2 things. He said he was going to do another search, utilizing them, the Maricopa County. He took my whole team inside the situation room. We have pictures and photos of that. I just didn't put in public because that's a situation room. In the situation room, I couldn't make it back to Arizona. I had to come back to South Carolina at the time. But my whole entire team sat there the whole day and watched this search through the situation room. Though it was really, I can say it really was a ploy to help Buckeye Police Department to say they did a search. But what it was, he gave me that one promise to do a real search for Daniel. Which is months after, of course, a year after he went missing. But the other part is, the second part of that was to take on Daniel's case, to move it off of Buckeye Police Department and help the Sheriff Department where it belongs to handle Daniel's case and get these forensics done. That was the agreement. And the agreement came because I had a physical protest set, and they was afraid that I was actually could have people who had momentum that it was happening. And Sheriff Pizzone at that time had his liaison to reach out to me. Is a person that I talked to constantly between me and Sheriff Pizzone at the time, and we talked. And it was that, hey, look, those type things. Make a long story short, they didn't do it. They didn't keep their promise. He kept that one promise, but he didn't keep the other one. So that's where the mail-in protest came. I had people say, hey, Mr. Robinson, I want to join this protest, but I live in Florida, for instance, or I live in this place and I can't get out to Arizona. So this is an opportunity for everyone to join in, and I came up with mail-in protest. It's something that I created to help everyone be a part. So these right here are the picket signs. You guys see all 5 of those. Those are picket signs. I call them picket signs. Exactly what the signs would look like when I was putting them together for the physical protest. We have them on the poles, and stand in front of the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, as well as this plant for the Buckeye Police Department to demand that Daniel's case be moved over to the Maricopa County's office, to demand that we have justice in Daniel Clay. This is one of my favorite ones. If Daniel was a cop, what would justice do? We demand the same treatment if Daniel was one of your own, because we already know what law enforcement would have done if that was a law enforcement vehicle lying on the side in the ravine, and an officer uniform lying 3 feet away from that vehicle. And they were not saying it's not a criminal case. They would not be saying not doing forensics on the scene. They would not have. They would have had law enforcement from all across the country to come look for that one officer that's missing in the same circumstance as Daniel. So we demand the same treatment if Daniel was one of your own. We demand a criminal investigation into the disappearance of geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson, which is an American scientist. What do we want? We want justice. When do we want it? We want it now. So you can definitely see all the different picket signs that would be there to promote the law enforcement to act. So you have the 5 here, the 5 PDFs that you guys can utilize. You click on one, of course, it'll take you to that PDF, so you can be able to print that out. So that's what those PDFs are for. Also, you mailing those off. And this again, I really want to thank everybody who actually joined in to do this. This is a form of donation because, again, I know how much it costs to print out these flyers. It costs a lot of money. And I really appreciate those who've been donating to keep those flyer distributions going. I also like to thank the nonprofit that's helping as well for these flyers. But make sure that this is a form of donation. So when you do this, I from the bottom of my heart, I really thank you for doing it. Please mail your PDFs to these numbers, to this address. Excuse me. It is the address below of the Buckeye Police Department. And that address is you address it to Chief Robert Sanders is his name. He's the chief of police there. It used to be Chief Hall who quit. These both him and Sheriff Zone kind of quit around the same time, which is kind of weird to me. But they both one is retired, the other one quit. But the point is, Chief Robert Sanders taking over. He used to be the assistant chief at the time when Hall was there, but now he's the chief. And there's the address here, 21699 West Yuma Road in Buckeye, Arizona, 85326, and also sent out to the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Russ Skinner, 550 West Jackson Street, Phoenix, Arizona, 85003. And what I want to say, you guys, is this is something I'm trying to get sent out every day. I'm trying to get thousands of them out every day to constantly bombard them with that. With these picket signs, let them know, hey, we're not backing off of Daniel's case. We're not letting you ride it under the sun. Give you the shade to say it's a cold case. It's not a cold case, and I'm telling you the reason why Daniel's case is not a cold case. I gave everything we know about. I'm saying like this, guys. Everything you know about Daniel's case, you can hear it on the news, and I know sometimes the news spin it away and try to give law enforcement credit somehow. I can tell you for those 49 weeks of desert searches, I did not get a dime for help from law enforcement, not a dime. I have had to force law enforcement come out there once or twice. They sent officers out there once or twice with no help. Only thing they did, I will help pictures of that as well. Some of the volunteers are very offended. They'll sit there with their hand in the pocket, not even so much as even did anything. So what I'm saying is, if this was out law enforcement, without law enforcement, that 49 weeks of death searching, finding those human remains, closing the case for the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office without law enforcement. Think about this, you guys. We found a human skull out there, only hundreds of feet away from where Daniel's vehicle was found, without law enforcement. So what I'm saying is, when law enforcement was actually out there, they have found zero. They couldn't even find their own hands in front of their face. They didn't find a red or yellow construction cone out there. And I'm telling you this for a reason, because I don't really believe their efforts was out there to really, really find answers. Because we were finding answers. Regular people just like you and I, regular people out there finding these answers. But what I can say in my investigation, though, I have started off my investigation from the time I got to Arizona. The first person I talked to was Ken, the last person who saw my son. I have I've written notes at the time as the point of talking to this guy. And law enforcement didn't adopt those things. Everything that was there information wise that you guys hear about him saying, hey, I'm gonna stay left of the tracks. Hey, I knew that law enforcement would come looking for Daniel, and this is going to turn to a national case. He said these things to me, and I wrote those things down. I had witnessed my daughter as well as another person. And his story will lead you to where the vehicle eventually going to be found. But I can tell you that those are things you're not hearing with law enforcement. So we know those answers to those things. The other part is everything you know about my son's case when it comes to his vehicle, the 11 additional miles, the 46 initial cycles, the time of day around one, all that stuff, the red transfer paint on the vehicle, things like that. It came from my investigation. When I said law enforcement had not contributed a dime to that, not even information on that to date. We don't have information about the so-called swabbing, which I really don't believe is true. That they say they did of the steel wheel shifter and the door handle. And what I'm saying is, if they did these swabbings, we need to hear what they got, answers they got from that. Who was driving this vehicle? The first part is they refusing to even test the airbags. All the airbags in the vehicle deployed. That means that someone's sitting in the passenger side as well. Who is that person? Let's see the DNA. When everybody know when airbags hit your face, it pulls off DNA. Let's get these airbag tests. Who got those airbags? I do. Not one time did law enforcement ask to examine and to do any forensics on these airbags, for instance. On the clothing, the family, we know that this is not Daniel clothing. Somebody put it there to say it's his clothes. We don't recognize those clothing. We never see him wear it. My daughter see my son almost every day almost. And they had plans to go hiking that weekend. But they saying, this is your son's clothing. Let's prove that. Let's get some DNA testing on us. Who has that? I do. So the point is, what I'm saying, and all the information you guys know about Daniel case came from my investigation. The last part is right now to say it's not a cold case. There's things that currently need to be processed. I probably lost a lot of things, or about to in jeopardy of losing a lot of things in Daniel's storages because of the lack of law enforcement help to get these things processed. And that's what I've been fighting Sheriff Zona of. That's why I was fighting Sheriff Skinner is currently to get these things processed, which they're utilizing Daniel's tax money on a facility that have a rapid DNA testing facility. Let's get these things done so they can have it on record, they have it on paper, so they'll know if these things match somebody who may be responsible for what happened to my son. Very crucial stuff. The other part is Dane's apartment. They have done nothing. The investigation with my private investigator, we found that someone's in Dane's apartment looking for something. They wrecked his room, everything else taken nicely in his apartment, but his room was a mess. I thought it was he being nasty and messy as a parent. My investigators showed evidence of somebody looking for something, pulling drawers out. If you've seen the closet, you'll understand. The other part is we just didn't know when it happened. It could have been Daniel looking for something himself, tearing his room up. We just didn't know at the time, by the time we got in his apartment, but we got the time once I was able to convince the Tempe Police Department to do forensics on all of Daniel's electronics. That means his home computer and some other things, the devices he had in tablets and things like that they have in his apartment, as well as redo the cell phone that Buckeye said they looked through. And then once those results came back, of course, we shared those results with the Buckeye Police Department. But they was doing it to me as a favor. But the information that I was received from that is that someone's in Dane's apartment well after he went missing on June the 23rd of 2021, looking for something that was going through his computer, looking for stuff, right? But you don't hear that in the report because it don't match the Buckeyes Police Department's what they want you guys to believe. So again, anything you learn about Daniel's case is there. I just need law enforcement to take it seriously. I need law enforcement to act in Daniel's case. And that's the reason why I say, guys, that mail-in protest is a part of doing that. We have the answers there. We have leads. I had to go back over Daniel's case from my investigation. I found or remember something that kind of slipped through the cracks. You guys will hear me talk about on my next live. An elderly couple who had passed by the area going away to appointment. The elderly lady had, and she remembered us very vividly, detail-wise, because of the kind of appointment that she had to go to. I'm not going to share that with because that's some of her personal stuff. But law enforcement know about this, and they refuse to follow up on it. But anyway, it's information where they saw some things that happened on Sun Valley Parkway that morning. Saw Daniel's Jeep out there on the side of the road and things like that. So I will be sharing some of that with you guys. But those things are out there. It's there that could be followed up on by law enforcement, but they're refusing to because I feel they don't want to put the resources and money on one case of a person to find those answers. Those answers are there. So if law enforcement, Buckeye Police Department ever come out and say, and Sheriff Skinner to say, we did the best we can, we patting ourselves on the shoulder, and also with the FBI field office of Phoenix field office, I think his name is Akil something. Those are high power. What's I gonna say? They are glorified police officers over there at FBI in Phoenix because they're not doing their job either. What I'm saying is, if you hear these people come out and say like they patting themselves on the back, they did enough in Daniel's case. Yeah, and that's exactly what the problem is because they would have never done that if it was one of their own. We swab a steering wheel, we stopped the shifter, we didn't do any forensics at the scene. It's nothing to see here. It's not a criminal case. This officer just decided to take his clothes off butt naked in the desert and going off and then tell his family maybe he joined a monastery, become a monk or something, and they just get himself a pat on the back and say it's done. It would have never happened in a million years. We know that. So what I'm saying is no pat on the back for law enforcement. They just found the wrong father. They just found the wrong kind of person who's just not going to back off of things, who's going to stand up for people, not just my son, because I'm doing that, but for everyone that I can. So again, and I'm not afraid to do so. But again, thanks so much, everybody, for joining in with me. Enjoy your football games. I can be over long-winded. I'm an hour and 15 minutes in on this. But I want to say, thank you again for being a part. Thanks for everybody who's, and thanks so much, TNY, for putting it in the chats. Everybody who's joining in on the live, everybody on the Instagram side that I cannot put on the screen. But I really want to thank you. And maybe I can put you on the screen just a little bit. Let me see something here. I think I can put you on the screen here for a second, but you guys might can't see that. It looks kind of weird, but those who are here on the Instagram side, I really appreciate you all for being a part of this as well. And thank you, Larnell. And you're right, Akil Davis. Thank you so much. You was there with me when we went to the field office, and Mr. Farmer was there with me when we went to the field office to talk to a FBI agent who sided with the Buckeye Police Department. Said he did a case briefing. We went there to go find out who this person was. Wait, Mr. Farmer found out who he was, and I went to go there as a father to talk to this agent to get an understanding from the FBI if what the Buckeye Police Department showed them, because at that time I knew the Buckeye Police did not give them the information they should have. First of all, I did not. I just wanted to really hear from this agent's mouth that the Buckeye Police Department told me at the time. After they did the secret meeting, I requested my attorney requested for me to be a part of, and they ignored it and did this thing underhandedly, and then come back and told me, said the FBI. This is what they exactly said to me, quote, and exactly how they said it. You, Mr. Robinson, are doing. The FBI said, "You, Mr. Robinson, are doing such a great job of your own. We don't need to come in." And so I wanted to ask this agent about that. And I thank God for Mr. Farmer for actually finding out who he was for me. And we went there to the field office. And I promise you, Mr. Farmer can tell you this. They treated us like a criminal. They didn't even let us inside the FBI building. We had to stand outside on the guard shack. When they came, they had us come inside of the guard shack. And he came with two other armed agents. And before I could say, I'll say it nice. So I say, "How you doing, sir?" My name. And soon as I could say my right there, he started yelling at me and said, "I know who you is," and just went off. And I felt threatened. To be honest with you, I felt threatened. I thought I was going to jail just for me saying hello. I know what's happening, but that's the treatment I got from that field office in the Phoenix field office on the FBI, because those guys are glorified police officers. Law enforcement tends to side with each other. Without so what happened is, I'm saying is, so when you said that Akil Davis, he wasn't there at the time. He took over that department. I have reached out to this guy numerous times. I remember first reaching out to him through a friend of mine who was able to get the number from him at an event. And I got to him first, and then some magical way answered his phone ring. He didn't answer to me, but I called again, and then a female answered the phone, and she told me straight up, "You'll never talk to him. You'll never talk to him." So it was those type things when I dealt with the FBI department there in Phoenix. They have yet to date to even contact me. They have yet to date to even acknowledge that they was ever looking into Daniel's case. These things I've been hearing out there in the public sphere somewhere, or we see on the Buckeye Police Department, which is not factual in my opinion. And I see someone put there as well, Mr. Crump. But thanks so much. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to leave that one alone. But I can't say it this way. I reach out to a lot of people. I have in my assist for 3 years. You can imagine. Again, I'm the kind of father who's go out there. I was able to reach out to Joy Reid. That actually got Daniel's case out there, and the reason I did have my tactics of doing that. So I believe I'm telling you guys, I reached out to so many people over those times, and I thank God for the ones that actually responded, like the Black and Missing Foundation. I talk about them a lot. Derica and Natalie, is because they actually did something. Despite of it, I hear people say, "Hey, Echo Search and all the stuff." I reached out to all those people. None of them helped. I can tell you that one thing, the person that did help was the Black and Missing Foundation. They put resources there in my search. They put information out there. They still currently putting information out about Daniel. So I thank God for the Black and Missing Foundation that actually doing what they say they do. The other part is, again, the FBI, go back there. I even had to go to the Justice Department. I talked to Mr. Brown. He's one of the attorneys out there for the Justice Department. And he went to go peek his head in some things for me. To make a long story short, that like you said, Mr. Farmer, that FBI office in Phoenix is useless. It's very useless. I see you say he left the Phoenix office and he's in LA. He was useless. Okay, well, he's not there anymore. So okay, gotcha. Okay, I didn't know that either. But that's the kind of thing, you guys. So get off. I got off way off track, so I'm not sure where I was at. But one thing I want to say is that I'm a person that never gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. Oh yeah, they get you down. They can't. I really appreciate that. But I'm not going to give up. I'm a person that's continued to fight, and I'm fighting not just for my son, but I'm going to fight for everyone else, all the missing Americans that we have. But again, for those who jump in, 600,000 a year, 3,000 a day. As we're speaking today, we have Americans going missing. And over 2,000 of those are children, and that's the crazy part. Of 2,000 of those are children. I guess you could say like a big percentage of missing Americans are recovered in some form, deceased or found. A lot of them, but it's a big high number that's never found out there, ever found. So we do have that big case number count of those unidentified bodies, and hopefully those systems with namers and some are helping with that. But there's other things that can be done, and that's my job as well. Especially when I get in Congress, that's my job as well to find those answers to that. So again, thank you everybody for joining in. Thanks for being here. Again, I'm Dave Robinson. I'm the father of geologist Dan Cornelius Robinson. Here to fight for missing Americans, here to fight for my son. And I want to say thank you to everyone who joined in with this evening. Again, I'm continuing to fight and be there for my son and everyone else. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Enjoy your football games. I miss a lot of that. So I always miss a lot of that. Once in a while, for those who want to know, I'm an Atlanta Falcon fan, so I can't say that. I'm an Atlanta Falcon fan, but just want to say, just enjoy your team, whether you're a Cowboy fan or not. Enjoy your team, and but thank you so much. God bless you, and have yourself a good evening.